Wahaha! Feel my bandsaw wrath. Hey guys, Ben here. So I'm just gonna jump right into my next project. I would just like the record to show I do not have a good feeling about this. Don't got a choice now. Well, there you go. And this is, of course, how to get hundreds of people angry at you. This used to be a Hyperfire, and I have hacked it away, and I've put a Stryfe in here. Personally, I'm not a full auto guy. I like the Stryfe a lot better. Even if I was a full auto guy, I would still probably do the same thing, except with a rapid strike, because from what little testing I did, as I put my hand in front of the camera, from what little testing I did, the mechanism on the Hyperfire is just absolutely awful, and I much prefer the rapid strike. I would still probably just put the rapid strike front on the end of this, or at least the pusher mech or something, because the belt, I'm not feeling it, at least in its stock form. Maybe when it's modded, but I didn't care enough to anyway. So this is what I have done, and I love it. It looks a little bit better with the all the parts on here. You have cheek rest and stuff. Put some clear parts in here. I've got to make a window here, and I want to cast the cheek rest, sling points here and here, and still need to fill this up. I moved this entire thing forward on purpose, and that's something someone addressed. Number one, if I had moved this any further, it's just enough room here where I probably have like 3 millimeters of clearance for a 25 round drum. So any further forward and it wouldn't really work with everything. Not only that, that's not the reason why I did it, because ironically I didn't find that out until after I had epoxied it on. The main reason is for room for my hand. This grip is pretty thin, and that's what I was finding uncomfortable, as well as this part back here is still a little uncomfortable, but the grip is so thin this way that when the rev trigger is right here, I'm activating it with this part of my hand when I'm grabbing it, and I didn't like that. And so with it forward, I can activate it with this part of my hand, which is much better, and it's also easier for me to go with the tip of my finger, which is ideal. So I like this much better. I'm going to fill this in, obviously, but I like this much better. It's much more comfortable for me, and so that's the reason why I did it. If you want to do it a different way, when you get yours, feel free to chop it in half, but I am going to warn you that this is a lot more involved than something like a Straven. This is, of course, DevConned together, and everything's perfectly straight. So, yeah, this is going to be my Dr. Snickers flywheel cage going in here. And then this is going to be just standard alkalines for LEDs. There's going to be white LEDs everywhere. And then obviously you got your ridiculous battery tray back here that's large enough to fit like 4 of these batteries, which is just stupid. Obviously I'm not going to put 4 in there, but I think I'm going to just have that, a voltage alarm, maybe put a fuse up here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might use a fuse, I might use a MOSFET, I might use a MOSFET and a fuse just to say I can. I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to do this, but I do know I'm going to braid all of the cables, and I have some cable tie downs, so I'm going to be zip tying everything on the inside, so that way I'm not using any hot glue on this. That is my goal. And then also on the battery doors, I also have thumb screws. You can get these off of eBay for $10. Well, these are 3M by 12 millimeters, and I was looking for some thumb screws because I wasn't about to pay like $6 or $7 for 2 thumb screws that Worker likes to charge, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And so linked to these in the description below. Even though I don't need it for this build, I'm planning on casting this, which is a 3D printed one, and it's a lot slimmer than most people do, and that's just because I don't need all of that room. I'm cheating a little bit here. If it'll focus, you can see that there's a cutout there, and that's actually going on top of here. So if you cut this flush right here, you're getting a little bit more room for your battery to sit in like this. And that's just something that I had to do in my last build, but I really like it. You can't tell the difference. And so the thumb screw will work with this because this is a flat thing right here, but they won't work with all extended battery trays because some of them pop up a little bit. Some of them like to stick out really, really far, like out here, and even out. I've seen them out here. It's really, they can get ridiculous. So make sure you know what you're going to be using it for before you go ahead and buy them. But I got to remember to keep making videos on this. So basically, this is my voltage meter plate, and it is 1/8 inch aluminum plate. And I've gone through and I've done everything from drill press, scroll saw, bandsaw, scribe, and caliper, and everything else. And I've got this all nice and nice. The only thing left I have to do is drill and tap the holes right here and right here that are going to actually mount it to the shell itself. And this is just friction fitted in there right now because I hand filed and I did everything to this to make it absolutely sharp and very precise, so it just fits in there. I still got to finish the surface on this so it's nice and doesn't have all those scratches and stuff. But I'm not sure how I'm going to mount this yet because I was going to drill and tap. I'm not sure I'm going to do that anymore just because I would have to mount something else on this metal plate. I think I might just... I've been really avoiding to use hot glue in this build, but hot glue seems like such a good idea right now. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to hold this in here right now, but it's holding in there pretty well. I can apply quite a bit of force to this plate without it popping out, but I'm definitely not going to leave it like this. So I've been showing this thing off so often that people are probably getting sick of it by now, but I swear this is going to be the last time I show this until I start mounting it. But this is my Dr. Snickers flywheel cage. It's going into my Hyperstryfe, and I have 16 gauge silicone wire in there, and it is braided with some cable braiding that's clear. And I also have marine grade adhesive lined shrink tubing on here, 3:1 shrink rate. But the thing I added onto this is the aluminum barrel, and it looks pretty good. It just friction fits on there. Unfortunately, it's too tight to make an aluminum breech, which would be awesome, but it's scratching the inside really bad if you try to fit it on there. So this is just friction fit. It fits on there really good. This is because I'm going to have some clear parts in the front, and you'll be able to see the barrel. And I don't want you to see brass because I don't really like the color of brass. I much prefer aluminum. I think that looks pretty slick. I still have to polish it and stuff, but I think that's the update for my Hyperstryfe for now. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer those. Thanks for watching.